Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. I'm Terraphon with the Quantum Cafe, and this is How to Star Citizen. All right, welcome back to How to Star Citizen, aspiring Star Citizens. Today's episode is going to be about what to do once you first load it into the game. And what we're really going to be talking about is movement, opening doors, getting on elevators, things like that. Just all the little key combinations and things that you're going to need to know while you play this game. You can see that I'm loaded into the game here, and I'm going to teach you right now the most important key in the game, which is F12. And what F12 does is hides global chat. Very important because global chat is silly and often toxic and obnoxious, and you're going to want to hide it, so hit F12. After you hit F12, the second key that you're going to want to know is the letter Y. And we're going to go ahead and press that now. You're going to hit Y. Why? Because it's time to get out of bed, you lazy. And that's the key that'll do it. The next key we're going to talk about is the letter F. F as in Foxtrot. And what that does is allows you to interact with things. So if you press F on something you can't interact with, you're not going to see any sort of change or anything except for this little crosshair pop up, right? But if you if you hit F and you're over something that you can interact with, you'll either see it turn blue or you'll see a prompt, such as the word open there, and it turns blue. Some things, it'll pop up a list of things that you can do, and you'll get to see that in action later. So I'm going to go ahead and click this. That's going to turn my lights off, right? And then I'll click it again and it'll turn the lights back on. And then to open this door right here, we're going to go F and click on that. Now, in a lot of cases, you don't even have to click. You can get away with just hitting F. So something to be aware of. So I've just called the elevator by holding F and clicking on that. And then we need to go to the lobby. So I'm going to hold F and I'm going to use the scroll wheel on my mouse if I want to scroll through floors. In this case, I don't really need to because the lobby's already there. You'll need to use this for hangars where there's a lot of hangars you can scroll through. So again, you will hold F and use your scroll wheel on your mouse to scroll through those floors and then click on the one you want. Okay. Movement is done using WASD. General standard first person game type movement. If you want to access your inventory, you will hit I. That'll take us into our inventory. And obviously there's a lot of stuff that gets done in inventory. You can use your inventory to change equipment. You can use your inventory to eat, drink, etc., etc. You can see over here I've got some, little meal bars and some drinks. So if I'm hungry or thirsty, I can right click on one of these, go drink, and it'll put it in my hand and switch me back to this view where I would then hold down the mouse button to go ahead and drink that. All right. So again, so far we've covered WASD for movement. We've covered I for inventory, Y for getting out of bed, and F, the universal I need to interact with something button. Now there's a ton of other buttons that you're going to use throughout your time in Star Citizen. One of the buttons you are not going to be using is the shift key. All right. And here's why. I'm now moving around at a normal pace, kind of like a regular, sane human being. If I hold the shift key down, I immediately go into sprint, and I sprint all over the place like an idiot. Now the problem with that is if you run into other people while you're sprinting, you can hurt them. You can even hurt yourself. And sometimes you'll kill them, or you'll kill yourself. Killing other people, killing yourself, not a good idea. So let's keep our finger off the shift key, especially when you're in combat, because if you're in combat and you're holding down the shift key, you lower your weapon. And what happens if you come up against an enemy with your weapon lowered? You die. So let's just go ahead and keep your pinky off that shift key. If you find that you keep reaching over and tapping the shift key involuntarily, what I want you to do is go to the kitchen, get a cleaver and a cutting board. Put your pinky on the cutting board, whack it with the cleaver. You will not push your pinky down on that shift key again, okay? It's easy peasy, lemon squeezy. All right, let's look at some of the other keys. I'm gonna hit escape, I'm gonna go to options, and I'm gonna go over here to key bindings. That's gonna show us this whole bunch of key bindings. Now, a lot of these are for use while you're flying. A lot of them have multiple uses. So for example, let's look at R. R will set our ship to flight ready. If we're inside of a ship, we hit R, it'll turn on all the systems, etc. If you are holding down Alt, well, that's annoying. I can't mouse over Alt without it going away. Anyway, if you're holding down the Alt key or modifier 1, as it says here, it'll reset your selection to auto, right? T will lock whatever target, whatever ship is under your reticle. If you hit Alt, modifier 1, T, it will unlock that. And I should really say left Alt because that's what modifier 1 is. Right Alt is modifier 3. So tapping Y will get you out of your seat if you're in a ship, where right Alt Y will eject you if you're in a ship that has ejection seats. Just switch this over to on foot so we can look at the various things that are on foot. You'll notice the letter Z is for free look. So if you hold down Z and move your mouse around, that'll allow you to look without moving or turning or anything like that. Hit X to go prone. Left Alt X wipes your visor. So if you're in an area that's rainy or snowy, wipe your visor. Use C to pull out med pens and heal yourself if you got med pens. If you're in first person combat, B switches fire modes on your weapons. You'll notice U uses underbarrel attachments. J will allow you to customize your weapon, which we'll talk about that more in the next episode, really, when we get into inventory management. You've got your Q and E keys, which allow you to lean. Really, that's when you're in combat. You have a weapon drawn. And you'll notice it says PN there. PN, roll left onto your back, or roll right onto your back, or if you're already on your back, it'll roll you onto your front. It says down here, PN is prone active. So basically, if you're prone. Okay, the backspace key, they're calling that force respawn. It's really just kill yourself and you'll then wake up in a hospital. We've got accept and reject invites. Those are the open and close bracket keys. Enter to activate chat, etc., etc. We're going to get into more of these as we are playing the game, but I wanted to familiarize you with, again, what are kind of the most important for when you first start out. So, as I've said, WASD for movement, F for interaction, I for inventory, and Y to get your hiney out of bed, which they don't even talk about that here. But yeah, it's Y to get out of bed. Or if you're sitting down, Y will get you stood up. So if you sit down on a bench somewhere, something like that, which I'll actually go do now. Let's go sit on this bench next to this fine gentleman right here. Sitting on the bench. And if I want to get up, I press Y. And I'll get up. So there you go. And that's going to do it for this episode of How to Star Citizen. In the next episode, we're going to talk about shopping, inventory management, where to get stuff, how to equip stuff, how to modify your weapons as far as attaching sights and other attachments, things like that. So make sure you pop back in and check us out for that. That'll be coming up here pretty soon. That's going to do it for me. Thanks, folks. Bye now. If you like this content, don't forget to subscribe and make sure you hit that bell icon so you get notified every time new content comes out. Also, make sure you check out Hyndrosa on Twitch TV at twitch.tv/Hyndrosa. Thanks everybody. We'll catch you in the next video. See ya.